Steve Dangle Podcast. Powered by Sports Interaction. Want to bet?
Steve. The Steve Dangle Podcast. With your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
Hey, we're back early, and it's going to feel short. Short like standing next to Jesse in a picture.
Yeah, because I'm 8 feet tall.
That's right. I love this headline from the Beaverton. The Leafs re-signing their best player is bad for them, actually, says brilliant hockey sage.
Who said that?
No, that's Beaverton.
I love that.
That's
I love
funny.
That. I love that very much.
We're back because of Auston. And I guess a little bit because of Willie, but mostly Auston. When the team's best player gets signed, we've been following this guy since before he was a Leaf.
Oh, this is the Evan Bouchard show.
Yeah, that's right.
Darren Radish.
Right? Darren Radish.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, did you guys see that Peter Holland signed a PTO?
His last NHL game was in like 2018.
I know, he's with the Avalanche. Producer Drew's here, and I bet he's thrilled.
Yeah?
Bet he's thrilled. Yeah. He loves his former Leaf centerman.
Jacked. He's
Yeah.
jacked.
I thought he was retired and all.
I actually thought he was too. I thought he actually announced his retirement.
Yeah, but I seen him in a suit. I'm like, no, you're too jacked to be retired.
He cuts a sharp figure.
Yeah, you don't even got the dad pooch.
The Matthews
You need to keep playing.
Matthews contract $13.25 million. Year one is actually $775K in salary. This, by the way, kicks in next year. He'll get a almost $16 million bonus on July 1st, 2024. It's $15.295. And then, year 2, year 3, year 4, it's $775 and then $900K. The bonus looks like this: $14.425 in year 2, $10.18 in year 3, and $9.12 in year 4. So again, the Leafs using their richness to give as much money up front as they possibly can.
Okay, I'm about to make myself sound like a crazy person, so hopefully you're with me on this.
Got it.
But you don't have one voice in your head. Like there's several, right? Off to a bad start.
Jesse,
to a bad start.
There are theories that 50% of the population does not even have an internal monologue. There's no.
I feel like those people are
Wild.
lying for the bit.
Yeah.
has to be right.
Yeah, like you don't think. Like
Yeah.
I just think
Yeah.
they don't understand the question.
Okay, that's fair.
Who's sitting around taking surveys and be like, "Do you think?" And they're like, "No." Like you're trolling.
I've asked friends before, like, what language do you think in? Because they know more than one language, and they've never responded, I don't. I simply don't think.
Yeah.
I just am.
I'm just here making my way through life. Like,
Can you not
in the
read in your head?
I
Like when you
share-
read a book, do you only read out loud?
share thoughts like the Kala with the Protoss. Am I right, Adam?
That's right.
Am I
Hell
right?
yeah. Hell
Am I
yeah.
right?
Super sexy guy.
Legacy of the Void.
Yeah.
Shake your head.
Matthews' contract places him as the 113th highest paid player in the NBA.
I didn't even explain the voice.
Oh, I'm sorry. Continue with the voice. Continue with the voice. You're right. My voice had us moving on. My apologies.
No, there was you said all the information about his contract, and imagine there's like 4 voices. Voice 1 goes, good. Voice 2 goes, good. Voice 3 goes, good. Voice 4 goes, that means in the 4th year, he'll be easy to trade. And I was like, shut up, voice 4. Shut up.
The deal comes with a no move, by the way.
Full?
Full no move. But it's the NHL. We've seen people with full no moves move. Eric Carlson was one of them.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting? Cap Friendly doesn't have the details of the deal.
Puckpedia does.
Yeah.
That's who I
Cap
got.
Friendly. I'm curious to know why they haven't updated it.
My bet is that they are not confident in the source and therefore have not gone live with it.
Yeah, so I don't know. Do we trust the numbers here?
I don't know,
want
Puckpedia.
Anchorman style fight between
Cap
all
Friendly?
the staff at Puckpedia and Cap Friendly.
Just play a game of Risk.
General Fanager comes out of retirement.
I like that. The Matthews contracts, like I said, 113th highest paid player in the NBA, 103rd highest paid player in the MLB, and the 88th highest paid player in the NFL. And that's a league without guaranteed contracts.
I think we need a GoFundMe for Matthews.
Well, I mean, listen, it's a lot of money, but it's also sort of obnoxious.
What's his? Was it
I feel bad for him.
Venmo, PayPal?
Yeah. You right, Stu? You feel bad for him too.
I do.
Yeah.
The arms of-
I wish he was making more.
We need to get a cameo from Sarah McLachlan
with her golden
For Auston
retriever on the
Matthews.
couch.
Yes.
Austin parents plan.
Yeah.
And we'll
petting some shivering dog, talking about you too can sponsor an NHL player.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he just gets to play hockey for all that money. Like, that sucks.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's 82 games. It's too many games.
And then, what if you actually win the first round and have to play like 5 more games?
And then you
That's
play for
so
free.
shit.
Yeah,
You don't get paid to play in the playoffs. That sucks. You might as well not play.
Ooh.
Yeah. Might as well lose in the first round.
Yes.
Get your money's worth.
Here it is. So there's an NBA player who signed an identical contract to.
Isn't it Grant Williams?
Yes.
Yeah.
I like to think I'm a casual to like slightly above casual fan. I don't know who that person is.
Jesse, have you heard of Grant
Yes,
Williams?
yeah,
Tell me
I
about
know.
Grant Williams. What do we know?
Yeah,
What do we
well,
know?
I recognize him from this very funny clip that we were shown.
You would like Grant Williams because he's like a feisty guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I do like that. So
He's a bit of a hothead, I'd say.
he took a foul in a tied game with 0.8 seconds to go. And he was talking trash as he was heading to the foul line. He missed both free throws.
That's something I would do. That's a me move for sure.
And Austin almost makes the exact same as Austin.
So
Reeves.
he is the
Austin,
highest
yeah.
paid player in the NHL, at least. So people are going to name him this. He is actually not the highest paid player in the NHL. The highest paid player in the NHL remains Connor McDavid. And
No, it's Nathan McKinnon.
it's Nathan McKinnon now.
It's about to be. Yeah.
Right.
Or no, as
And
of July 1st, I believe.
Here's the thing. There are other extensions to be signed here.
Oh, yeah.
Austin may not actually be the highest paid player in the NHL come next year.
It's not going to last very long.
Right. And I think before we get into the breakdowns, before the reasons why, Jesse, Steve, you look at the term, you look at the contract, and I want to transport you back to yesterday when Austin sends out that cryptic tweet, and we're like, that looks like an extension tweet. And then it became the extension tweet that just came out too early. What was your initial reaction? 4 years, 13.25, which I think works out to $50 million or $53 million.
Oh, fuck. Someone else is going to have to give Leo a bath. Can, like,
Yeah.
After 5 on a Wednesday, like, we didn't need to do that. After 5 on a Wednesday in August. Yeah, no, my initial thought was, someone else is going to have to do all the parenting for the next hour or two.
Right.
Because that's how it worked out. There were a couple tweets I saw that said
Hold on.
8.
No tweets.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
But like in the initial confusion, after he sent his cryptic tweet, saw a few people say 8.
Oh.
And I said, oh my God, what are you talking about? What is that number going to be? 4 years is longer than I thought we were going to get, actually, like based on some of the reporting CJ did. He seemed to think 3, and he emphasized that on the Chris Johnston show, which is also up on SDPN. And 13.25 is right in line with what he said. But the most important part, Matthews' jersey number wasn't in the cap hit. That's the most important part.
That's a good
Bar
point.
none.
Jesse.
Yeah, you really like the 2.5?
Yeah.
I was, I would say it's on the slightly better side of expected
Right.
for me.
Yeah.
See, 2 plus 5 is 7, as in he's going to get 70 goals next season. That's how it's going to
Oh,
be.
that's
You
ma-
see?
that's a lot of goals.
Now, Jesse, before we get into your, I've slept on it and I've had a chance to read and look at the whatever. What was your instant reaction yesterday?
First, I just want to check this. Nathan McKinnon, his salary the next 3 seasons is $16 million in terms of actual cash he gets paid. So Auston Matthews, I'm sorry, but you're not actually the richest.
Not even with your
Richest hockey
bum ass
player.
bonuses.
Poor
Nathan McKinnon got all his money up front. $16 million for 3 years.
broke ass.
The Auston Matthews deal, it's like, okay, what are you going to do? Like, this is what you have to do. He is your best player. He needs a new contract. What are you going to do, not sign Auston Matthews?
Well,
I was
and-
like, yeah, they did the right thing.
The reaction to the term, I don't know if I'm moving on too quick.
Yeah, I think, well, let's talk initial reaction. Yeah,
Okay.
Go ahead. Just go into it. I just wanted to hear what your reactions were, and that let's break it down. Go.
So reaction to the term, I think, is misguided. I don't blame people for being like, oh my God, 13.25 is too much. But being upset that the Leafs couldn't do 8 years, they could only do 4, I think is misguided.
No, you
completely.
You don't want to do 8 years.
No.
You want to pay a 35-year-old $13 million?
So last time, I think you did want to do 8 years.
Yeah.
Last time when he signed his 5-year contract out of his ELC.
He was 22.
Well, there was that. But, well, no, that is the most important part. It was that. Now, CJ reported that he wanted something in the neighborhood of 13.8 then.
For an 8-year deal.
So that deal would have been a disaster. I mean, or far less good than what he currently has. For reasons that the Leafs had control of and also didn't have control of. Again, they signed all their contracts, Willie, Mitch, Auston, even Tavares, with the idea that the cap was going to go up. We know the cap didn't. So his initial deal would have been signed before COVID, then COVID hit, fuck the cap, and then 13.8 would have been a disaster. So all the cap gymnastics they've had to do over the past few years, they would have had to do so much harder. And even, think of how much you like him. And he scored 60 goals. Like, I think at 13.8, people would have been like, yeah, good. That's what you should be doing.
Yeah.
You're the highest paid player in the league by far. I think it would have been way more of a narrative. But now, there's two factors. It used to be if you got more years on your deal, the cap hit went down. That's not the world we live in anymore. You have to adjust that expectation. Again, consistent with CJ's reporting, if it was 8 years, it wasn't going to be like, 12.75, 12.5. It was going to be 14, 15, 16. The number was going to go way up.
Because the cap is going way up.
Yeah. And now, at the end of his contract, he's going to be 31. That's okay.
Which is a great evaluation point. That's what I like so much about the 4 years is you sit at 31 and you can go forward and see like, hey, how did these years play out? Because it's 5 years till then. Like we're talking like, it's 4 years, not 4 years from now. He has to play another season on his current deal. So in 5 years, you get to evaluate, okay, what was Auston Matthews' prime? Let's go give him his last contract if he wants it here, or if he wants to go play somewhere else, we'll figure that out too. But It's a great 31 years old. We got to see the entirety of his prime in Toronto, and then now we move forward. It's perfect.
If he signed his 8-year deal, it would have been, let's say 14.5. So you're paying 14.5, which is over $1 million more, over the course of the first 4 years, which he has signed. And then the next 4 years, you're paying $14.5 million to someone who is 32, 33, 34, 35.
And that's where you get screwed.
Yeah, no, I have no appetite for that whatsoever. So I actually kind of think that, again, if you have a problem with the cap hit, fine. I guess I understand that. But the 4-year term, I think, is perfect.
It's smart business.
I'm bringing this up because producer Drew, as much as he says
is a dick,
he doesn't like the Leafs, producer Drew fucking loves the Leafs. Because producer Drew's follower count goes up every time the Leafs do something.
Content machine.
Yeah,
Twitter.
And that's not a Drew problem. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with all of you that his follower count goes up?
Yeah,
you sadists. You're sick.
It's the Howard Stern effect. We hate him, so we listen longer.
That might be it.
But Drew said this: players to sign for over $10 million a season with a less than 7-year term. Auston Matthews has now done it twice. Mitch Marner has done it once, and no other NHL player ever has done it.
That's absolutely bananas.
It is kind of funny how that's happening.
Oh, it's extremely. And I mean, if it was going to happen to one team, like, no one would be like, "Oh, it's happened to the Wild." Like,
it has to be the Leafs.
It has to be the Leafs.
So I want to address something because I think that there are a significant group of fans, and I don't understand this totally.
No.
And we had a huge argument about it. Our biggest argument last season, and it's now last season, by the way.
Weird. That screws me up.
Is that was that these guys should take a discount because they want to win. Okay. And I think there is a significant group of Leaf fans who are wishing the players took a discount. If you look at John Tavares, if anybody actually went back and looked at the articles when John Tavares signed, he did take a discount. He took a $2 million per year discount.
I don't factor him into it.
But I count that because I'm like, that guy turned down $2 extra million with the San Jose Sharks.
Yeah,
to come here. And people are like, it's overpaid. I'm like, he just still had 80-something points last year. He's a good player. Now, what do you say to the fans who are like, we need these guys to start taking less so the Leafs can win?
You're right. You are right. Now,
do you feel like Auston didn't take as much as he could have? Didn't push his... Do you feel like there was a discount taken here?
Okay, so I sort of had a eureka moment with this argument last night. The open market argument is garbage. Because could Auston have made more than 13.25 on the open market? Of course. Would it have been in a place that he wanted to play?
No.
Like, again, I like Columbus more than most. It is an underrated NHL city, but the Leafs did something smart. And I think Mitch Marner actually did something smart during his contract negotiation where the Blue Jackets wanted to offer sheet him, remember? Mm-hmm. And he was offered something like $12 million a year, which is over $1 million a year more than he's getting with the Leafs. And, if you're his representation, you go to the Leafs and you go, all right, we have offer for $12 million a year. And if you're the Leafs, you go, all right, go fuck off to Columbus, Ohio. And that's where you're going to spend the rest of your days.
It wasn't real money that Mitch Marner was offered because he would never play in Columbus.
Exactly. So, Tavares was San Jose.
Or what was it, the Zurich Lions they floated? Remember with the Marner deal? It was like, well, he's going to go play in Zurich.
Yeah.
And Dubas was like, yeah, okay, sure he is.
Have fun.
He did it again. It was another one of his clients. Fucking the worst.
Oh, Darren Ferris? Yeah, that's his move.
Yeah, well, what if you go to planet Earth?
Yeah.
And we can have a debate there.
Yeah.
Instead of whatever fantasy world you live in. What was the question? Oh, discounts.
Yeah. What do you say to those people?
Well, okay. So Matthews is, I think, at a number that other stars are going to get. And I have more confidence in saying that this time. Or no, I had as much confidence last time. It's just I didn't know COVID was coming.
Yes.
And I keep bringing it up, and I know it's exhausting, but it's really relevant to the Leafs cap situation over the past half decade or so.
Mm-hmm.
So Marner's contract extension, that'll be interesting. He'll probably get a raise. What's that number going to be at? To me, the conversation immediately shifts to Willie because I don't think Matthews' cap hit is that unreasonable, even if it is maybe a little high. Willie at 10, you can't do it.
Yeah. No, you can't.
And actually, Drew and I came up with a great number yesterday. So Matthews is getting something like a 14% raise. A 14% raise for William Nylander would be, I think it was 7.8 or 7.85.
Yeah,
but he's underpaid as it is.
Yeah, because he's well outperformed his current contract.
I agree.
Yeah.
No,
he's
I
not
agree.
at where he should be.
Right, but where he should be is not 10.
Right.
That's not a conversation that's on planet
Yeah, somewhere in the middle.
So, and it's not even about being mean or, you should get out of this town, or it is a matter of, do you want to play together and be competitive as a group or make as much money as possible? Because you can't do both.
And so let me go back to the flat cap argument thing, just for anybody that's tired of hearing it, but this sort of backs it up. Peter Chiarelli signed Connor McDavid to his current contract on July the 5th, 2017. It didn't kick in until a year later.
July the 5th. Those must have been a perilous 4 days.
$100 million, 8 years. And it was a monster deal. At the time, in his first year, his cap percentage, I believe, was over 16%, close to 17%.
16.67.
The only thing, of course, it's a 6.7.
I know. Worse.
It has only changed 1.67% since then.
Holy cow.
His cap percentage is still 15% at $12.5 million.
That's so bad.
That's how little the cap has moved.
Yeah. And sorry, not the contract is bad.
No, the contract's great.
The contract's A-okay. That's so
Isn't that wild?
Shitty.
It's just crazy how little it's moved.
And it's crazy because I don't know, this event happened to the entire world. Mm-hmm. And the NBA's bounced back okay. Here comes MLS roaring in.
Yeah.
And hockey is flat as a board.
Jeff O'Neill made a really interesting point on Overdrive. I just saw a clip kind of come up on the internet. And he said, listen, the Leafs got an American player to stick around for, he's like, it's not just this year, but it's 4 more years after this year. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was an interesting point because after COVID, and we all know why, a lot of the guys who were American guys who were stars in Canada justifiably were like, hey, I didn't see my family for 18 months. And if this ever happens again, I don't want to have that situation happen.
I get it.
And so you saw, notably, Gaudreau and Tkachuk are the ones that really come to mind who are American players. But there were other ones. I mean, even some Canadians who have their families in the States, like a Ryan O'Reilly, a Zach Bogosian, they didn't want to stay for some of the same reasons.
I don't think it's necessarily a border thing. I think it was just, I want to play closer to home, and there's more homes in the States.
Yeah. So I found that interesting, like I think it is a good point, because there is a difference between the two countries. Anybody that's traveled across that imaginary line we call a border knows that.
Zach Bogosian is American, by the way.
Oh, he is American.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was
From New
Canadian
York.
for some reason.
Yeah. American professional hockey player.
Well, there you go.
is what Wikipedia says.
What's his birthplace, though?
New York.
Since when?
He changed it.
Massena?
Is there
How do you
Massena?
Massena, New York, United
I don't know.
States.
Cena?
Born there.
I don't know.
Yeah. July 15th, 1990, 33 years old.
No,
Wow.
he's from.
How is that fucking guy younger than me?
He's from Sarnia. Oh, I know.
He's a Viking. Like, how? Oh, anyway.
Dude, man.
He's what I want to be when I grow up.
I had a wild one yesterday.
What?
You know who's younger than the both of us?
Well, most of the players in the league now.
Tyson Fury,
Oh my God.
the
Really?
boxer. March 88, April 88. He was born August 88.
Oh my God.
We're older than Tyson Fury.
Dude, wow. This is a tough realization. For anybody in their 20s, enjoy it. Doesn't last long.
I think I'm taking pride in the fact I'm cute as shit.
There you go. With regards to the years, because again, there's a group of people that it's like anything less than 8 years is a betrayal to the team.
Yeah.
And I know people from outside, specifically Drew, but other people too, are going, well, our guy signed for 8 years. And if you're in Edmonton, our guy signed for 8 years. Two of our guys signed for 8 years.
He was younger.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but Matthews, when he was younger, didn't sign for 8 years. We know that Matthews' camp wanted 3 years. We know the Leafs wanted 5. So they split the difference. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on the length of term? Forget the money, length of term.
It's perfect.
Why?
Because
Are you saying that as a biased Leaf fan?
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
But also okay, if they could have pushed it to 32, fine. But again, the number goes up, and I'm just imagining a player making 14 plus into his 30s, and a guy who does have an injury history. Listen, you sign a player to $13 million, you are fully committing to this player needs to be healthy the entire time, right? But
That's difference maker money.
of course, there's a chance this goes sideways, though. And then you're going to have an absolute, it's you can't move it. It's Mount Everest on your cap forever. If it goes sideways and he's 32, 33, 34, 35, that contract ending at 31 is perfect. And then, if they haven't accomplished anything by the end of this Matthews contract, we're talking blow it up.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. They would
The
have
era's
blown
over.
it up, hopefully, a long time in between that.
Hopefully,
The era's
but,
over.
But he'll be 31. Marner, I believe, will be 32. Nylander will be 33.
And playing for somebody else, likely.
Yeah, we're just not that. Is it irresponsible to say I don't give a shit? Is it irresponsible to say that's half a decade in the future?
Oh, yeah.
And I just don't care. Remember the conversation? The one that came to me was the 7 years versus 8 years that Zach Hyman could have gotten Edmonton. Do you think any Oilers fan gives a shit right now?
They're having a great time.
No, because they're thinking about we could win the cup this year. We could win the cup next year. We could, and maybe it becomes a problem in year 5, 6, and 7.
Sounds like a problem for years 5, 6, and 7.
Yeah. Now it's not good when you sign a deal and immediately you're like, okay, this could become a problem.
Which, here's the thing, Toronto fans were burned on that, especially of our generation, because of Dave Clarkson.
Okay.
And that's not David Clarkson's fault, but the deal immediately when it was signed was over much. It was over an overpay. And the general manager at the time, for those of you who forgot, came out and said, I don't care about years 5, 6, and 7. I care about years 1 through 4. And everybody's like, yeah, we're concerned about that too.
But like we're talking about,
which is, I think, a whole different thing.
It is, but I think people, because that's imprinted in their mind, I think they apply that to this, and they're not the same.
They're not the same person. It's like Clarkson, that was too much money right from the beginning, and it was bad. Josh Anderson, it was too much money right from the beginning, and it was bad. Matthews it's a completely different conversation. You're talking about like a top 5 goal scorer in the league.
Even with Matthews, like you don't want those 8 years, because if we take a look at the 10+ year contracts, producer Drew, I'm looking right at you. If we take a look at all those 10+ million dollar contracts signed for 7 or 8 years, how many of those guys do you want to be paying that money into their year 33s? So right now we got
the answer is 0.
Right now we got Erik Karlsson.
Does anybody want Erik Karlsson to be making that much?
He's
except for
making
Erik Karlsson?
$11.5 million.
He scored 100 points, won the Norris, and it still took months and months and a 12 asset trade.
And probably the most creative trading general manager in the league to figure it out.
He's not worth that money he's making right now. So the contract shouldn't have been that long. You go down the list. Sergei Bobrovsky, 34, making $10 million. Is he a $10 million goalie? Yes, for a couple months in the playoffs. But other than that, he was not at all.
He very nearly won the Panthers a cup, and he's still grossly overpaid.
He also
didn't $10 million.
He didn't play a game till like game 3 or 4 of the playoffs for them.
Yep. Shout out Alex Lyon.
Yeah, Alex Lyon was the starter.
Oh yeah, they didn't play the league.
Yeah.
Other names on the list. Carey Price, $10.5 million out of the NHL.
So that is an example of what I was talking about with Matthews, where he was great, bad, great again for some reason, and then
Briefly.
out of the league.
Yeah.
Because of
It
injury.
would have been nice if you could reevaluate that contract at the age 31.
Yes.
There's everybody on this list is the exact same. When they enter that age 34, 33, they're not worth the contract anymore. You can even look at Drew Doughty, who is still a great defenseman. He's not an $11 million defenseman, and he's still making $11 million at 33 years old.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And like a lot of the guys who
very happy with this term.
A lot of the guys who got paid recently are young.
What is it with the obsession with 8-year deals? Because I get it from, if you're signing a 22-year-old, if you're signing 22-year-old Connor McDavid, I like that.
Cost certainty is a big thing
Jack
with the
Hughes.
salary cap.
Yeah.
Like,
Jack Hughes.
Yeah,
oh,
the,
man.
The
what a
Jack
great
Hughes
deal.
contract, that is an example of an 8-year contract going perfectly and being executed perfectly. And there's a few things that need to go into it in order for it to be one of the best contracts in the league. And Drew would know this. You need them to not hit their stride yet before you sign them to the deal. Nathan McKinnon. He was coming off the worst year of his career, something like 40-ish points, didn't even hit 20 goals, I don't think. Signs for 6.3 something, and he was probably a top 10 on a bad year player in the league.
Like Kadri with the Leafs.
Yeah, actually, like I would say he was a light version of that. He was coming off a terrible snake-bitten year on a terrible team, signed 5 or 6 years.
It was 6 at
And-
$4 million or something.
It's like 4.5. Dude, unreal. You can't do that with Matthews because he was great immediately.
Right. Now, what kind of a player is Auston Matthews to the Toronto Maple Leafs? I know Leaf fans know this, but I'm not sure producer Drew people know this.
What does that mean?
You know exactly what that
Assholes?
means. It means that they're getting quote tweeted by a bunch of Leaf guys going, "This guy doesn't know shit. Doesn't know shit about hockey." It's okay to have differing points of view, everyone. Auston Matthews is 11th all time in points. This franchise is 107 years old and he's 11th all time. Marner is 10th. He's 19th all time in assists. He's 5th all time in goals. Can you name the 4 people ahead of him, guys?
Matt Sundin's one.
Yeah, Sittler.
Gilmore.
No, not Gilmore. He wasn't there long enough.
He was a Leaf for a flash in a pan. Oh, you know what? Phil Kessel.
Not Phil Kessel.
No?
No.
Steen.
No.
Fuck off.
No.
Koliakovo.
Okay, it's it's 60s and 70s.
Oh,
You will get one of them. You will not get the other.
Lanny?
No.
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 Well, Vive was 80s. So.
Rick Vive is 6th.
What?
Dave Keon didn't play long enough.
Dave Keon.
Oh yeah,
Number 3.
Oh, wow.
60s.
He played 1,000 games. It's 1,062 games with the Leafs.
Well, with the shit, because I know he has 4 cups with the Leafs.
Yeah.
Something stupid.
But then he played, and he was the captain, I think, into the 70s, and then Harold Ballard completely fucked up that relationship, and he...
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about all those cup years, and I was like, it's 67. Like, he wouldn't have been around.
He was.
But
Yeah.
Oh, no, he
after
was.
that, yeah, he was.
George Armstrong?
Nope.
No.
He's 8.
Hap day.
Not half day.
Babe die.
Not Babe
Too
die.
far. Too far.
Not Scott Clayhorn.
Too far.
The other one you won't get. I can guarantee
Okay,
it.
what is it?
Ron Ellis. The
Oh,
most forgotten great Toronto Maple Leaf of all time, Ron Ellis, is always overlooked, by the way. Matthews' 5-on-5 goals production is unreal. This is thanks to Kevin Papetti. His 5-on-5 goals per 60 since he joined the league, which is over 5,000 minutes. Anybody that's played over 5,000 minutes in the league in that time. Matthews at a 1.61, Pasternak at a 1.3, Ovi at 1.24, Skinner at 1.19, McDavid at 1.16, Gensel at 1.1, and Kucherov at 1.1. And according to Kevin, Matthews could go about a season and a half without a 5-on-5 goal, and he would still be in first.
Wow. He's just total goals too. Since he's entered the league, he leads the league, right?
Yep.
Just in terms of the cumulative number of goals he's winning.
Now, if you are a fan of Dom Luszczyszyn's predictive models, which I know producer Drew loves to give Dom a lot of shit for it, but I kind of like their back and forth. I actually live for it.
It's great.
Auston Matthews-
I will say it. Big fan.
$13.3 million, 4 years. The model predicts that Matthews was actually worth about $16.7 million. Surplus value, $3.8 million.
Okay.
No one's getting paid that.
Right.
No,
But
yeah, like
I think that's relevant. Now, here's the one thing.
I mean, it's not a conversation based in anything realistic.
And last thing on those numbers, he's only about 100 and something goals away from Sundin, right? So
Oh, yeah. No, he will.
in 3 seasons, he's going to be the all-time leader in goals for the
It's
league.
very likely.
121.
Yeah.
So he
In
could,
his sleep.
if he's a couple 60-goal seasons, he'll be past him in a year. 2 years.
Yeah.
Sorry, 2 years.
2.5 seasons.
Yeah.
Like, easily.
Yep.
Damn.
No Leaf has ever scored. This is how bad the Leafs have been forever. No Leaf has ever scored 500 goals in a Leafs uniform.
Oh yeah, Sundin I think is 420.
420. Nice. No Leaf has ever scored more than 620 assists in a Leaf uniform. That would be Boria.
Oh man.
No Leaf has ever scored more than, and this is ugly, 1,000 points in a Leaf uniform. 987 by Matt Sundin is the highest. Not 107 years of this franchise.
And
Not
13.
Not one.
13.
Not
He's
one.
away from that.
Yeah, I know.
Oh. Bring him
Terrible.
back.
Freaking terrible. Yeah, I know. He should come back.
Bring him back for 13 points.
So
Babcock was his coach in his last year.
here's what I got. What I got was, and this is just feedback from people. You see the tweets and then you see the text, right? Because every time something happens, you get inundated with texts. And the one thing that I heard from Leaf fans who are self-loathing, and these are the ones, and you know the people who watch every game, cheer for the Leafs, and then when the Leafs lose, they're the worst team ever. I fucking hate these guys. I'll never watch them again. And then, of course, cheer for them again. Not you, like worse than you.
Yeah.
You mean Steve?
Oh, those ones.
The question is, yeah, but okay, he doesn't deserve that money, right? Because he hasn't won anything. So the one thing that Auston Matthews and co, but I start with Auston Matthews because his money says I start with him and also his performance.
No, you're right.
The one thing they must do is win.
Yes.
If Auston Matthews doesn't win, even go on like a decent run during his tenure with the Leafs, but ends up on all those lists, can you put his name in the rafters?
I think he did.
I mean, yeah, you gotta. I mean, dude, there are some names
The Leafs
up there who we grew up loving, but they didn't win shit.
So we keep that tradition.
Well, I think so
Dougie was elite for
Gil-
half a decade and didn't win shit.
Gilmore and Clark got to the conference finals twice. Sundin got to the conference finals twice. Their names are up there. So we got at
Clark
least
got there twice. Oh,
Yeah.
94.
Yeah.
Everyone forgets about 94,
Yeah.
including me.
So let's
gets swept
say
by Vancouver.
Auston Matthews doesn't get to the conference finals.
Yes, but like just based on numbers, he has to get there. But it'll be like a monument to a decade plus of failure.
You remember
like
when
you'll look up at it and go, they fucking
Failure.
wasted that entire banner right there.
it'll be like when he got 4 goals in his first game and they still lost.
That bugs me more with age.
Or when he had the point at the ref game when he scored and they still lost.
And they fucking
So
and he did the ear thing in Chicago,
And they still-
won,
Oh.
but they
In
blew
OT.
the lead.
I also, Jesse, do you remember when Phil Kessel was traded and Steve put out a video and it was Phil Kessel and Ira wasted?
Yeah.
If Auston Matthews is not at least in the conference finals once in the next 5 years, the Auston Matthews and Ira wasted video.
I think that bar is so low. That's embarrassing. Conference finals is what we're asking for.
I
of
mean,
Auston Matthews.
We got it. We got to take this in steps, don't
It's
we?
an era wasted if Auston Matthews' name isn't on a Stanley Cup. Like,
I agree.
It's unforgivable if they don't win a Stanley Cup.
Wow. It's hard, man, because like there's 32 teams. It's a really Price never won, Lundqvist never won, Luongo never won, and like I'm just talking about goalies. But they all made it to the final. And Thornton never won, made it to a final. Marleau never won, made it to a final. There are a lot of players where we sort of look at them historically and we're like, well, you made it to the dance. You fell at the dance and spilled punch all over yourself. I'm gonna say they need to make it at least to the final.
I think Luongo made it past the second round once.
No,
I think so.
the Florida Panthers should be arrested
They should.
as an organization.
Because Luongo made the playoffs with Florida one time.
Once
The rest was
he
Vancouver.
played 6 games. This is if you look at the goalie record books, he's up there in almost every category. And this fucking team got there once, and they lost
Yeah.
to John. I'm pretty sure.
I'm looking at the Canucks right now. They lost so his first season in the playoffs was they lost to the Stars in the Western Conference quarterfinals in 06-07. Then they didn't qualify the next year, and then they lost in the conference semifinals
That's
in
right.
08-09.
He
and
won
then
around 4 straight years.
he won a round
Sorry.
years.
4 of 5 years.
But what I'm saying is he didn't get past the second round more than one time in his entire career.
That's
And the one time was the
I
final.
thought you
round.
said the first round.
Sorry, second round.
Second round, yeah.
I could have easily said the first
No,
one, but I
you
meant
said
it was the
second.
second round.
You said second? Okay,
Yeah.
Jesse's
my bad.
dumbass here.
Yeah.
Way to go, dumbass.
So okay.
There you go.
So part of this contract value, obviously, is gonna when we look at it in retrospect, is going to be not regular season wins. Although it'd be nice if they finished first. We always want that. It's gonna be, did they win anything in the playoffs? That's how the value of this is going to be judged.
I think if the Leafs were to win the President's Trophy, they would wear it like a backpack full of weights heading into the playoffs.
It's a deep cut.
Because I think people who don't like the Leafs would be cheering for them to win the President's Trophy just because it would be funnier when they inevitably fucked it.
Drew Livingston has messaged me,
What is he tweeting during the fucking?
and he said, "Imagine
Get out of here.
Imagine McDavid doesn't make a final. You guys would roast the Oilers."
Yeah.
The Oilers, not McDavid. So, well, I guess we're not talking. Like, what is the conversation?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I
Conversation
wanted. That's what I'm trying to
Matthews
figure
or-
out. Yeah.
I
feel like we're roasting Matthews right now if he doesn't make the finals. I feel like he has to make the finals.
Right.
He does. This is going to sound unfair. It's fair as fuck. He needs to have a few playoffs that are better than his regular season. Like, I don't want to hear, oh, like he had 11 points in 11 games this year. No. You're making best player in the league money. And this is the part where you go, well, the team around him. What team around him?
The team around him was
They
really
spent
good.
all their money on 4 guys. Arguably 5.
Yeah.
5 guys. No burgers, no fries. 1 round win. He's got to have, like, McDavid has had some crazy playoff performance.
Draisaitl this year.
Even, and Drew would know this one, even like before they won the cup,
Yeah.
they had that one run. I can't remember what year it is. It was shortly before the cup where Colorado still lost, but McKinnon had like fucking 2 or 3 points a game. It was look at him, look at his face. They won the cup and it still hurts them. It still hurts them. That's wild. That's wild. So I want to see a season where Matthews puts up like 90, 95, 100, and then in the playoffs we are in awe at the butt cheeks he is just spanking on the other side of the ice.
Just like a xylophone.
He is coming across forehand, and then he is using his momentum to bring his hand back backhand on the other team. He is just
Okay.
Auston. The Leafs for 13.25 don't need Auston Matthews. They need Auston fucking Matthews. He's got to have one of those.
There hasn't been a playoff series that the Edmonton Oilers have lost where you'd say it's McDavid's fault because he didn't show up.
Yeah.
Boy,
or
it would've been
Draisaitl.
nice.
Even Draisaitl too. Like both of them, every single playoffs, it's never you would never put the blame entirely on them.
Dating back to 2017.
Yeah.
Draisaitl was
He's an
that
animal.
man.
He,
Yeah.
2017.
he would have led the playoffs in scoring, I think, if Marchessault hadn't scored in the last game of the finals.
Yeah.
They've both been
Matt.
unreal throughout their entire
Stupid.
careers in the playoffs, and
Yeah, both
the two of
angles
them
and
perform in the playoffs, and it's about building the rest of the team around them. Like you can't say the same thing about the Leafs.
You cannot.
2 goals Matthews had versus Florida.
That I don't know. But I
What?
know. I know. It's August. I'm rusty.
Wow.
Rusty. All I've had is Sudoku to
Shocking.
keep my brain sharp.
How many? You got Mitch Marner points versus Florida?
12. Oh, against Florida? I don't know.
Oh,
He had 12 in the whole run.
Yeah.
The
run.
yeah, I know. I know. Shut up. It's
That deep run they had. Remember that one?
that's crept into the Leafs.
Think about that, like the Raptors 2019. You know?
Yeah. I put them 1 and 2.
Yeah. I took over the city.
I think 2023 Leafs get the slight edge over the championship Raptors.
Oh, man. Well, listen.
And above bat flip and above Joe
easily.
Carter especially.
We've already gone overtime.
Batista's above Joe Carter. No, I'm kidding.
What we were expecting to go. So, the end of the day,
Joe
let's
Carter
wrap it
talk
up.
about it?
Let's wrap it up real quick.
No, we need the Joe Carter impression.
No, we need to bring the World
That
Series
reminds
back
me-
to Toronto.
No. How the Leafs went to the second round in 2023 to bring the second round back to Toronto.
They almost got swept, but they won 1 game and then lost immediately.
How the Leafs, don't worry though, it was Florida's goalie's fault. It was definitely not on the Leafs. I want to wrap it up. I want to let you know that after Labor Day, we are back full-time, full episodes. So we got a Tuesday and a Wednesday right after Labor Day, both episode days. And then Friday, we will be doing Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays this year. CJ show back in full after as soon as September starts too. So Mondays and Thursdays for them. Drew and Stu is back this coming week for those of us who love our football and our betting. And of course, all the other programming is continuing on as well. What about the Jesse Blake Sports Report?
What about
the
it?
best named podcast in sports?
Their fantasy football episode dropped on Monday. A new episode comes out tomorrow. I'm recording it tonight. I like dropping the audio overnight so then it's ready for people's commutes. So like every Thursday night or Friday morning, you'll wake up and you get some nice audio, and then the video drops at like 9 in the morning.
Wow.
I think I'm gonna do. Is Auston Matthews a top 5 player in the NHL? And why he's not?
Whoa. Okay. Wow.
Not even a top 5 Leaf.
Listen to this asshole. I can't wait. I can't wait to read subtweets about you. I can't wait.
Is Auston Matthews a top 5 Leaf currently? No.
Ooh.
Name him.
Is a
Name the
top
guy.
5 Leaf
Name the
currently?
guys above Auston Matthews.
Like
Leaf.
on the current team.
Yeah.
On the current
Yeah.
roster.
Mitch Marner,
Yeah.
John Tavares,
Nailed it.
William Nylander,
Yep.
Morgan Riley.
Morgan Riley, David Kampf.
That's the 5.
Yeah, David Kampf and Auston Matthews got the same term. That's crazy.
Holy shit! Holy shit! Oh my God!
Wrap it up, baby. Callie Arncroke too, but he's already spent one of his years.
Yeah, he doesn't count. They got to extend him as soon as he's eligible, though. Fucking A.
We didn't talk about Nylander much, but honestly, he'll sign eventually, somewhere.
Oh shit! He was just traded!
The Steve Dangle Podcast.
Powered by Sports Interaction. Want to bet?
Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.